Hey, what's up? This is Anzio, and it is that time of year again. The filming of this video is June 1st, which is now known as National Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day. Now, I did make a clip last year. I didn't distribute it that far, where I talked a little bit about this stuff. I'm going to talk just a teensy bit more because it's so much I can't fit it into one clip. Now, narcissistic abuse. What the hell is even this stuff, you might be asking? I got my notes here so I don't get lost. Sometimes I get brain fog and I lose my place. You can probably see them reflected in my glasses at certain angles. Narcissistic abuse is defined as a type of emotional, psychological, mental abuse initiated by a narcissist. Some of you may have an idea of what a narcissist is, and some of you may have a more colloquial definition of what a narcissist is. Colloquial meaning that, you know, the type of person who maybe takes entirely too many selfies on social media and all that, usually of the same pose. That's kind of like minor narcissism, which a lot of us have, especially us that put ourselves on camera. But as far as like narcissism being a form of toxicity or even a full-blown personality disorder, that's typically defined as a narcissism mental health condition. Typically defined as a mental health condition in which a person has an unreasonable high sense of their own importance. They seek attention, they seek power, they seek authority, and they want people to admire them. And oftentimes they don't care who they have to harm and what they have to wreck to get what they want. And that can be anything from like minor teasing or joking or telling somebody they can't take a joke, something as small as that, to something full-blown and big, to pitting people against each other, triangulating people, and feeding off that kind of chaos. And so much more, but I'm going to get to what I can here. So what does narcissistic abuse entail? A need to be in charge, a need to be the authority, a need to be in power, and a need to be influential to certain people. Strong sense of entitlement. They think they're owed a lot of things and they'll use that to attack others. You owe me this, you owe me that. Well, I did this, so you owe me this. Even if you don't owe them, they will talk you into owing them to get what they want. A lack of respect for boundaries. Like I said, they don't care who they have to harm or what they have to wreck to get what they want. If something troubles you or something bothers you, they will plow past that shit to get what they want. If you don't want them in your house, they'll find a way into your house. If you don't want them in your room, they'll find a way to get into your room. And they'll justify it however they can, and it'll usually be a bunch of shit. They don't care about their boundaries, but they certainly care about their own. Neglect to people that they care about. They could have friends, they could have family, even their own children. Some narcissists neglect the people that they care about, and others use them as trophies. This is a representative of me, especially if they have like spouse or children. Look at my spouse, she is a reflection of me. Look at my kids, they are a reflection of me. Or they'll just be completely absent. And they use them as, you know, like tools, like pawns, puppets, houseplants even, because they are only concerned with their own needs. Even if they act caring to other people, it's the end goal is to get what they want. Another thing is being very, very upset when they don't get their way. Even if they don't show it up front, they get very vengeful when they don't get what they want. They are very critical of others, but can't take criticism themselves. They are very poor at taking criticism. They may not show it right out. They might go behind closed doors and just rage out, narcissistic rage. And even going back to authority, the authority is they establish, without anybody's consent, without any care, they establish authority over things and especially over people. And they really don't like their horseshit authority being challenged. And if you challenge a narcissist's authority, even if you don't know that they've established that over you, they will show you right away that they don't like what you just did. Or they'll show you eventually. Believe it or not, these are very dangerous people on varying levels. They don't like their authority being challenged. They don't like it being violated. Sometimes they don't even like you asking questions if you have a genuine question of what they're trying to do. So even if you're trying to fawn and play their game with them just so you don't get any of their punishment, if you ask a question, they'll just be like, they will let you have it. And a big one is gaslighting. I forget what number I'm on. Gaslighting is huge. They talk people out of their own reality. They tell lies to get people to not believe their own sense of reality. They get people to think things about themselves that are not true. Oh, you are weak, or you are crazy, you are this, you can't be trusted with your own brain. Now, these are sneaky motherfuckers, so they're probably not going to say stuff like that right out. The real sneaky ones will try to get you to trust them, to see them as a source of power and knowledge and authority. And those are just a few. I mean, you got like, you know, manipulation, emotional blackmail, competition, sabotage, sneak sabotage, exploitation, objectification, withholding certain things, especially if they're in a position of power over you, or if they are a friend or a coworker or even a family member, which is the most scary. A good bit of verbal abuse, or at least sneak verbal abuse. Negatively contrasting things, especially when they want to get you to believe what they believe. invasions of privacy, intimidation, usually by revealing private things about you and threatening to expose and all that. Even though the big weakness for narcissists, especially covert narcissists, is exposure. Isolation, financial abuse, religious abuse, and in some more extreme cases, physical violence. Slander, character assassination, trauma bonding, getting you to bond to them. What most narcissists will do is they'll do what's called love bombing. They'll treat you nice and even go to extremes to make you feel like you are just the most special person in the world. And then when they got you, then comes the abuse. It's almost like the love bombing is the abuse because it's part of the same cycle. Love bombing phase, devaluation phase. So how does somebody become a narcissist? How does a narcissist become a narcissist? I'll give a short answer here based on what I've learned. Typically it starts in childhood and usually comes from either being abused, spoiled, neglected, physically or mentally abused as a child, in any combination of those things. And the very sad thing about it is that kids are helpless to this kind of abuse. A lot of them don't even know that they're being abused. Even if they feel that something is bad, or that something is wrong, or that somebody who's claiming to love them and care about them is doing something wrong, they're typically helpless to do anything about it. So they have to endure it for years. And one of their capabilities might be something like money, so they'll do something grandiose for their kids and use that as some sort of bargaining chip. You do this for me, I'll let you keep this, or you get to keep this, but you owe me. Transactional relationship. And this happens in all different kinds of relationships, not just family. That's the short version of it. So how do I know if I'm dealing with a narcissist? A very short answer, again, that they'll be very controlling over your life or certain aspects of your life. You know, everything from, you know, decisions that you make, what clothes you wear, what shoes you buy, where you go throughout the day, what you spend your money on. Do you want to travel, or why do you want to travel? Why do you want to go by yourself? Why do you want to go with those people? Why can't we go together? And they may not come right out and say that stuff, but they will sneak it in. Anything from telling you, you know, what to do, you know, implying that they don't want you to do something, influencing you to do what they want rather than what you have planned for yourself. They don't care what you have planned for yourself unless they want to infiltrate, sabotage, or be a part of it. What kinds of narcissists are out there? Well, you've got malignant narcissists, which are more like psychopathic narcissists. They're the ones who do like the physical violence. They're the ones who say, you do as I say, or I'm either going to attack you or kill you, or I'm going to attack myself and or I'm going to kill myself. You know, malignant narcissists will make big threats like that, and some of them will actually act on it. I've seen it firsthand. And all the things I'm telling you are based on not only experience, but things I've had to learn along the way. Books, books, articles, YouTube videos, talking to doctors, talking to therapists, as much knowledge as I could get to try and get out of this and make myself better. Other kinds of narcissists, there's overt narcissists. Those are usually like the real obvious ones. The overt narcissists are very grandiose. You can usually pick them out real easily, especially if you've been educated on the matter. And then the most dangerous ones, just like the malignant narcissists, are the covert narcissists. The covert narcissists. Those are the ones who you can't tell. You can't tell until maybe they're behind closed doors, or you can't tell because maybe you're not educated enough on narcissism and they'll say the nicest thing to you, but really it's like a sneak insult, or really it's something that they're trying to get you to do or get you to agree to in order to trap you into something that you can't get out of. And they'll do it so nice and make it seem like the greatest thing in the world, but it's abuse. Certain kinds of covert narcissists can be the vulnerable narcissists. Oh, I'd never do something like that. I would never do that to them, and then they do that to them. I would never attack my girlfriend, and then they attack their girlfriend. I'd never put anybody in a crazy-making situation, and they put them in a crazy-making situation. They're wonderful to the public, and then they're assholes to the people that they claim to care about. Kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde thing. Another name for a covert narcissist is the white knight narcissist. White knight narcissists are typically people who are in charitable positions, people in leadership positions, positions of authority where people think that they are so nice and so giving and they just can't make a single bad move. Positions of power, positions of influence, politicians, chief of police, doctors, people in religious institutions, entertainers, probably entertainers that you really like. And I've seen a chart saying that the line of work that has the most narcissists in it is the military. Anywhere and everywhere, you name it. So what kind of effect does narcissistic abuse have on their victims? What is now known as Narcissistic Abuse Syndrome, or NAS. It's like a series of traits that affect victims of this kind of abuse. It can be things like depression, all the way down to having a depressive disorder, anxiety, all the way down to having an anxiety disorder, fatigue, lethargy, insomnia, not being able to wake up in the morning or wake up whenever, not being able to wake up on time, sleeping through alarms, not being able to get moving when you wake up, procrastination, fits of rage, especially through prolonged abuse or lifelong abuse. In cases for kids, urinating the bed well into your teens and adulthood, nervous system dysregulation, irritable bowel syndrome, digestive issues, not being able to properly process food, metabolism issues, skin conditions such as lesions on the skin or breakouts of different kinds, suicidal ideation, social ineptitude, many others I'll have to get to later. So what can I do to protect myself? Educate yourself as much as you can on narcissism, narcissistic abuse, narcissistic personality disorder, narcissistic abuse syndrome, NAS, and even other aspects of mental health. And those other aspects important for both yourself and understanding the abuser. An abuser becomes an abuser by experiencing abuse themselves. So there's likely going to be some other things in there, some other traits that go into other personality disorders and other things. And it'll contribute to their behavior and their abuse style. It could be something like bipolar disorder. It could be psychopathic personality disorder. It could be antisocial personality disorder, which is a synonym for being a sociopath. Sociopathy, borderline personality disorder, and others. One very important thing to do to protect yourself, get into therapy. Get into therapy. See a psychiatrist, see a therapist. And for those of us who have access to the Veterans Administration, we have a doctor, we have a therapist, and a nurse practitioner so they can monitor our physical health, because the mental abuse, which affects the nervous system, will affect you physically with the symptoms I mentioned earlier. Therapy is paramount, or some sort of way you can help yourself if you can't afford therapy. You cannot cure a narcissist. You cannot make a narcissist better, but you can make yourself better. You can make yourself stronger. You can make yourself wiser and more resilient. When you do those things for yourself, the narcissist will not be able to fuck with you anymore. So good news, bad news. Bad news is that narcissism is all over the place. You know, it's out in the streets, it's on TV, it's in movies, books, you know, the people in your life, the people who could potentially be in your life, you know, your coworkers, your boss, possibly your friends, possibly your family, possibly your favorite entertainers, your favorite celebrities. People are suffering because of them. And the abuser either doesn't know or doesn't care. In most cases, narcissists know exactly what they are doing. Make no mistake, they know. People are suffering, they're harming themselves, killing themselves from the results of this abuse. They're having their lives ruined, their plans sabotaged. It's like they're afraid to do anything for themselves because they know that somebody's going to sneak in and ruin it for them. That mental anguish leads to physical pain, but the abuser is incapable of caring. So you got to look after yourself. You got to educate yourself. The good news is that this information is everywhere now. How to deal with them in any capacity. That's why I make videos like this. Look it up. Google it. Pull up some YouTube videos. Get some books. Check out the DSM-5. If you want to know how to look into the DSM-5, which is usually for doctors and therapists, go to the library. Read some articles, testimonials, talk to doctors, talk to therapists. If you are educated enough on this, you'll be able to spot that crap anywhere. Just like narcissists can spot an easy target, you'll be able to spot a narcissist. You'll be able to tell when you interact with them, especially if they're trying to turn things on you and make you look like the problem, make you look like a toxic person, and possibly even make you look like a narcissist. If you're educated on it, if your people are educated on it, snuff that shit out right away. Because narcissists love to twist things around. They will fight tooth and fucking nail to take you down and get what they want and not care who they hurt or what they wrecked. All the while protecting themselves from accountability. They'll take accountability for things that look good, but they will not take accountability for the things that they did to you. And oftentimes they'll have every excuse and justification in the book. That's all I'm going to say for now. Hopefully it made sense. If you want to look more into it like I did years ago, I'll try to provide some sources and some links to whatever platforms I end up posting this on. That's all I got for now. Know your worth and protect your peace. See ya.